A killer was caught on camera, inside a church, dressed like a police officer. They weren't responding to a crime, they were waiting. Because minutes later, a woman walked in and never walked out. In the middle of the night, inside a quiet church in Texas, security cameras recorded something disturbing. A figure dressed in full tactical gear was walking through the empty hallways. Helmet, body armor, gloves. The person looked like a police officer or maybe a SWAT member, but there was no emergency, no police operation. Just a silent building in the early hours before sunrise. The figure wandered through the church slowly, opening doors, looking inside rooms, sometimes pausing to smash glass with a hammer-like tool, almost as if they were killing time. And that's exactly what investigators believe they were doing. Because just a short time later, a woman arrived at that same church to lead a fitness class. Minutes later, she was dead. The woman was Missy Bevers, and the person calmly walking through that church on camera has never been identified. Missy Bevers lived in Midlothian. She was 45 years old, a wife, a mother, and a popular fitness instructor. Missy ran early morning workout classes that brought together dozens of people from the local community. Her classes were energetic, supportive, and challenging. People didn't just come for exercise. They came because Missy inspired them. But the routine that helped so many people stay healthy would eventually place her directly in danger. Missy often hosted her workout classes inside local churches. One of those locations was Creekside Church of Christ. The classes began extremely early, around 5 a.m., which meant Missy usually arrived well before sunrise to prepare. On April 18, 2016, she followed the same routine. But outside, a storm was moving through the area. Rain, thunder, dark clouds. It was the kind of weather where most people would rather stay home. But Missy still planned to run the class. Hours before Missy arrived, something strange was happening inside the church. Security cameras recorded a person entering the building. The figure was wearing tactical gear that resembled police equipment: a helmet, a vest, heavy boots. But investigators quickly realized something important. The gear did not match the equipment used by any local police department. The person began walking through the building. Slowly, methodically, opening doors, looking through rooms, and occasionally smashing windows with a tool. It didn't look like someone searching for valuables. It looked like someone waiting. Around 4:16 a.m., Missy arrived at the church. She had no idea someone else was inside. She entered the building carrying the equipment she used for her fitness classes. Moments later, she encountered the person seen in the surveillance footage. What happened next remains unclear. But investigators know that sometime shortly after entering the church, Missy Bevers was brutally murdered. Shortly afterward, members of Missy's fitness class began arriving. Instead of finding their instructor preparing for the workout, they discovered a horrifying scene. Missy had been killed inside the church. Emergency services were called immediately. But there was nothing anyone could do. Investigators quickly discovered the surveillance video recorded inside the church. The footage stunned both police and the public. The suspect appeared calm, unhurried, almost casual. Even more unusual was the person's walk. Many people who watched the footage noticed something distinctive about it. The suspect had a very unusual gait, almost like a slight limp or exaggerated stride. Police believe that detail might help identify the killer. But years later, no one has been definitively linked to the video. The Midlothian Police Department launched a massive investigation. Detectives interviewed hundreds of people. They analyzed Missy's personal life, her work, her relationships. They examined possible motives ranging from robbery to personal conflict. But one major problem remained. The person in the surveillance video was heavily disguised, which made identifying them extremely difficult. Over time, several theories emerged. Some believe the killer specifically targeted Missy. Others think the suspect may have been staging a burglary that turned deadly. Another theory suggests the person may have been familiar with the church and knew Missy's schedule, but without identifying the figure in the surveillance footage, the truth remains hidden. The footage still exists. Hundreds of hours have been watched, analyzed, slowed down frame by frame. And yet, that person has never been identified. A figure in fake police gear, walking through a church like they belong there. Not rushing, not hiding, not afraid. Almost comfortable. As if they knew exactly what was about to happen. But here's what makes this case even more disturbing. That person wasn't surprised when Missy arrived. They didn't panic. They didn't run. Which means one thing investigators have quietly suggested for years. They may have been waiting specifically for her. And then there's the walk. That strange, unnatural gait. Experts have studied it. People across the country have tried to match it. Friends, co-workers, strangers. Everyone asking the same question. Do I know that walk? Because beneath the helmet, behind the gloves, under that disguise, there is a real person. Someone who went home that morning. Someone who blended back into normal life. Someone who has lived freely for years. And maybe the most chilling thought of all is this. What if the person in that footage has watched it too? What if they've seen millions of people studying their every move, trying to identify them, and still they remain hidden? A quiet church, a storm outside, a killer inside, pretending to be law enforcement, and a woman who walked in, never knowing she was walking into an ambush. Years later, no arrests, no answers, just a video, looping over and over and over and over again. And somewhere out there, the person in that footage is still walking free.